Welcome to another edition of Let's Play Farming Simulator 2013 on the American Farm. Okay, so got a couple things going on today. So we finally finished harvesting all of our wheat over here, and we did get a ridiculous amount again. At the end, we didn't get as ridiculous, but it did work. That's what I'm trying to say. And now we're gonna play around with the new toy. So let me just show you how much wheat I collected in the end. There we have it, 400 and well, in the end I think it was less than 100,000 I got after I finished doing the rest of the field there. But not sure about how much I'm gonna get this time around. Hopefully I fixed it. Don't know yet. We'll have to see after this harvest. As you can see, I did a little test run right here with the case, and I discovered something interesting about this. I did a little testing off screen, and the seeder will actually outlast the fertilizer by a long shot. So I can probably seed this whole field, and the fertilizer will run out after the first headland, basically. So that does create a bit of a problem with the setup, specifically with Courseplay. So Courseplay would just keep going if there's seed left. It won't keep going if there is no seed left. So what I might do is I might show you how it works, and then with both of them running. And then I think what I'm going to do is, just because the way Courseplay works, and I don't think, honestly, in the end, this wasn't very expensive. It was only like 2,500, so I'm not too worried about it. But in the end, it actually is not that efficient. Only because if I were to go back and refill it, I'd have to do that so many times. It would be ridiculous. Yeah, so that's why what I'm going to do, I think, is, even though it's a nice setup and it does work, when it does work, it's nice. But what the problem is with Courseplay, it only recognizes the seeds, unless I do it myself, and I'm just not. It's a big field, and I don't think I would enjoy driving around the field. It would be a lot of back and forth, basically, because this runs out. It's a small tank, so you run out really quickly. And I did try out. It out with a couple other tanks just to see what would work best. So I tried it out with this one right here, and it does last a bit longer, but the seeds still outlast it by a long shot. And I tried it out with this, which is Duke's part of the Duke's Precision Air setup. And with this, it's set up to fertilize for the air seeder, which is where are we? This one right here. So it's set up to work with this and not with the case setup we have right now. So that's a bit of a problem. So just due to my play style, that's really what it boils down to. So what I'll do is I'll show you how it works. Let's just fire this up. Also, I found something interesting. I was doing a little testing off screen. So I was testing this Case IH Precision Hoe with the sprayer, this right here, the Precision Air Cart, and this Steiger will not pull both of them together. And that's just due to the way Duke modded them, not because this tractor isn't in real life powerful enough. It's just because the way they're modded. That's all. So once we do get to that route, we probably will have to change to one of Duke's tractors, just because it won't work otherwise. Which I thought was pretty funny, actually. All right, so I already have a course set up. So let's get this fired up. So Courseplay does turn on the seeder, and it does turn on the fertilizer, which is pretty darn cool. But the problem is that, like I said, the fertilizer. Oh, that's loud. The fertilizer will run out before the seed does. So that's the problem we're gonna run into. Alright, so I already did, like I said, I did a little bit of a test run to see how it would work, and it does work fine. So we're going to start from here, and as you can see, there's our seeder dropping its wings, I want to call them, and then the air cart in the back is now on as well. Let me just turn that. So now they're both on, and in reality is what I was going for there. You probably couldn't go too quick with this anyways, so I'm going to set it at 9, let's say. Just because I'm not sure how fast you would be able to go. But I don't think it would be, honestly, it wouldn't be that fast, I don't imagine. So that's the reason why I've set it so low. So there you go. That's what the air cart and the fertilizer looks like. That's how it works together there. Let's just close this HUD. So there you go. It does work together with Courseplay, which is really cool. But it won't go refill the fertilizer. Once the seed tank is done, then it'll go refill that, but not the fertilizer. So what will happen with this particular tank is it will go, I think it goes around the field, and then the tank basically stops, I think, 3/4 of the field around. So if I were to, either I'd have to keep running out to the tractor, or I would have to do it manually. And I don't want to run out to the tractor, and I don't want to do it manually, so I'm just going to be honest with you guys here. But it does cultivate and fertilize and seed all at the same time, which is nice. So what I was thinking was, what I might do is I might just use it as a seeder as opposed to a fertilizer as well, just because in terms of efficiency, for me to drive this back and forth to fill it up or to drive something to it, either way it would not be as efficient as using it as a seeder only, and then just fertilizing with the fertilizer we already have. So where is it here? Owned. So fertilizing with this. This is more efficient just because it refills itself basically. But in this circumstance, you see I'm at 77%. That's most of that is the fertilizer that's turned on. And it'd be nice if you could adjust the level of the fertilizer, but you can't. If I were to have hard worker, if I were to use a hard worker, it would work, but it would still use up the fertilizer and the seed, because I have the hard workers consume fuel. If I didn't have that, then perhaps this would be a good combination, but I would still run into the parts where in the middle of the field we have the drainage ditches, basically. So in terms of that, I wouldn't be able to hire a worker for the whole thing anyways. So that's the difficulty I'm going to run into. So either I Courseplay it and it does what it's supposed to do for part of the way, or I manually do it, which means a lot of driving back and forth, or I just use it as a seeder. So those are the options I have. So I think it's getting close to this. So this is about where the fertilizer is going to start. It's getting close to being empty, basically. I can't tell which one's which. It only shows me how full it is together, not as individuals. So unfortunately, the fertilizer does run out really quick in comparison. Now I could use the Duke cart with this, but it over fertilizes because it's not meant for this width. It's not meant for 12 meters. It's meant for 20 meters basically. So, but this tractor is meant for these ones, like in a sense that it's from the same place, so they work together well. But Duke has some cases he did similar thing with, where he made it to work with his precision air cart, and if you don't use his mods, it won't work very well because it's just too heavy. This tractor was actually coming off the ground, and it wouldn't steer properly when I was using the precision air cart, believe it or not. So, a little bit of information for you guys. So, I believe the cart is getting close to running out here. But as you can see, it does a really good job. Obviously, it's not going to cultivate the straw that's off the field, only the stuff that's on the field. I don't think I left. I think it's just around the corners that we missed a little bit. Otherwise, it was pretty good. So, it does the headland really well, as you can see. It does that, and I think it's around here somewhere. I can't remember. But it will run out eventually, and then what will happen is the case will just keep seeding, and then once it runs out of seed, then it'll probably start fertilizing again, which is kind of funny, but just the way it goes. I suppose I could use a cart by itself, but it kind of defeats the purpose a little bit. But kind of defeats the purpose of having the fertilizer and the seeder together in this scenario anyways, because with Courseplay it doesn't work out very well. So like I said, if I had it so hard workers didn't consume fuel, then it'd be okay, but they do in this circumstance, so can't do much about it. But I really like the way it looks. It looks really cool. Thanks again. I think it's Long Haul, I think his name is, for suggesting these again. I took a double take, took another look at them after you suggested them again, and I do like them. They are a nice looking model. Not super fancy or anything, but they get the job done. So now it's just the seeds. So it's run out of fertilizer already, and now it's just the seed. So even with the double tanks, it doesn't take very long because it's constantly on basically. So I'm just gonna let this guy continue on his merry way here and continue to do this because we need we need the fields. We need the field seeded anyways, so it's not a big deal. And I don't know why I meant to change it to something else, but we're doing wheat again apparently. So hopefully we can deal with that. Now I think what's going to happen is it's going to fill both the seeder and the fertilizer sprayer. So when it goes to refill, it'll fill them both, and it'll be like a little strip somewhere where it's actually been fertilized. So it's going to be kind of funny actually, once it's all said and done. Oh well. Anyways, let me just hop out of here. So I don't know if you could string them together. Doesn't look like you can. No. So that's one of the considerations I've run into, is the fact that that fertilizer cart tank doesn't last nearly as long as the seeds do. So again, mainly because I have hired workers consume fuel and seed, that's why that wouldn't work with a hired worker, because it would do the same thing basically. The seeds wouldn't run out, but the fertilizer would. So yep, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Alright, so if you recall from last episode, we picked up another new tractor. We picked up the John Deere 7200R with a front loader, and we parked it over here. And yeah, we brought it over here. I guess we finished with it, so let's turn her on. There we go. Bring down the handlebars, take the parking brake off. There we go. It is a really nice model. The modder did a really good job with this tractor. I do like the whole series of tractors actually. Oh, I guess now we have a John Deere combine too. Oh jeez. I must be getting a little one-sided. Well, I guess because I got the case Steiger and I got the case seeder and the case air tank. I guess that's not really a case air tank, but or not air tank, fertilizer tank. So what we're gonna do is what do we got here? I sold. Just pop over here. As you can see, I sold most of the square bills we got off. In the end, we got it was about half the number of bales. So we got about 50 squares as opposed to 105 rounds. Although the problem we did run into, of course, is the fact that this trailer will not pick up squares, which is annoying. So, well. That's just the way it goes. So I think what we're going to do is, let me just look at what our percentages are. 5 cows, 243 pigs. Let's just turn this off. It doesn't need to be running. There we go. I think what we're going to do is we're going to sell some pigs because we have just too many pigs. And let's fire this up. And pigs aren't, let me just see. Why do I always skip past it? Are pigs coming up in great demand at all? No. Soybeans, potatoes, and soybeans. So maybe we won't sell the pigs then. I forgot how cheap pigs are. They're not cows in this map, so. Yeah, that's always funny. Actually, you know what we can do? We can deal with that manure because we can sell that manure too. That does mean we need a new tipper, mind you, because our just a big tippers, I guess is what I'm thinking of, because the tipper we currently have, the corn husker, while it will work for everything else, it doesn't work for manure. And in reality, you would never put manure in one of those either. So, what options do we have available to us? I guess this is the only real option that handles manure. Is there anything else? These, not really worth it. This does hold manure, but not very much manure, and that's the problem. But it would save us having to buy a new trailer. Maybe that's what we'll do. That's a lot of... I don't know. Gonna leave that for the time. I guess it really doesn't matter. It's funny how much the... having all the oodles of crop actually just kind of... For this way, this is what's going through my mind. I'm like, oh, well, we should probably sell the manure when because we have 100,000 liters, and it's like, oh hey, what's the point? Because we have wheat and oats there, basically, is what kind of goes through my mind a little bit. Because we have 287,000 liters of oats and 400,000 liters of wheat, so it's kind of like, well, is it worth it? Is it not? That's what goes through my head. Anyways, let's just check in here quickly. Yeah, let's fill this up. So you'll be able to see the John Deere in action here. There we go. And the funny thing about this, this isn't nearly as perky as the... Oh, do I need to turn that shift? Yes, I do. The funny thing about this is I didn't realize I had a beeping sound. Oh gosh. Is that how slow it moves in comparison to that Ford is just funny, actually. Because the Ford would zip around, and this thing's like, alright, we are moving backwards now. Which makes it kind of funny, actually. It makes me laugh a little bit. Because it's like, okay, well, now this seems so much longer to do this. But that's the way it goes. It is a bit easier in terms of getting close to the bales because the way it moves is a bit nicer. There we go. It is a bit nicer in terms of getting the bales to move, or getting close to the bales, because the way you move in this is like, this particular tractor is a bit different, so, which is nice. And it's got a bit higher of a reach as well. Like, I don't even need to go all the way on this map. But on the ramp, though, it does slide back, as you can see, which is what would happen in real life. So let's just adjust that. Boom, like so. Let's put some straw bales in there. Let's gonna go feed our pigs a little bit. Might as well. We have the extra straw. Let's go grab that square over in the corner there. I do know for a fact that one of the wrappers we have right now, I think I got rid of some of the wrappers just because I thought maybe that might have been the reason why it wasn't working properly. Still haven't determined what exactly is the problem. Yeah, we did get rid of that one. Because I can get it again, it's not a big problem, but that Lily wrapper and baler, or how you want to pronounce that, that was one of the options, but I haven't put it back in to see how it works yet, so we can actually sell this now. Might as well. I don't know how that works. I don't know how you can sell it after you buy it, but it does consume them, but after you've consumed them all, you still have it and you can still sell it. So this bale wrapper will work with these square bales that are right here. Just in case you're wondering. Let's get that a little bit lower there. I think that's... Yeah, there we go. It does work. Sorry, that was a bit of a momentary lapse of... Oh, goodness. So these do work with the kale wrapper, but we don't... This is straw. We don't wrap straw. that's the reason why I'm not worried about it. Oh, the way you have grass we can cut. Actually, I have to... I'm not sure if that... I'm pretty sure that baler does wet grass. I have to double check now that I think about it. Alright. And the cool thing is... Oh, wow, that slid a lot. Jeez. I could just put the emergency brake on. Whoops. Oh, well, it dropped it anyways. That's funny. So I could put the emergency brake on when I'm on the hill, but usually, or on that little ramp there. But the other ramp that I have is meant for the big lizard front loader, basically. It's meant for manure, and there's a flat spot on it, which is nice. Or silage, I guess it's could be used for it too. So the idea behind it is basically you level out a little bit, so it's not so bad. Alright. I do like this tractor for the in-cab sound, which is nice. It is pretty powerful too. Like I said last time, we went from... I was just curious, because I was trying to figure out if that was due to the wagon that we had, but it's not. Or the wagon. Well, I guess it's a wagon. Alright, let's go in here. Perfect. Oh, they are full. Okay, well then. Let's go give our cows some then. It's funny because it says maybe if I just gave them straw, but it's all in red, so it's like it's as if they need some more, but I guess they don't, so kind of throws you off a little bit. Alright, let's go give our cows some then. And I think what we're going to do, I'm going to drop this off. Or I'm going to, well, empty it out to the cows, assuming they need all of this. And then I think what we're going to do is going to cut some hay. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oof, that was close. As you can see, this tractor does act a bit more like a tractor, so you need to be more careful. So in terms of braking and whatnot, it doesn't have lightning fast braking or anything like that. Alright, let's see how much of the cows... Well, I guess they'll take all of this, that's good. And while we're here, let's go check on the Steiger. Where are we here? Let's put him in... Oh, he wasn't in a group. He's blind, apparently. So as you can see, this is what happens. So he's almost run out of seed now. But he still doesn't have any fertilizer. So this is just going to show you what it looks like, how it works with Courseplay. So it's run out of fertilizer, but not seed. So only once it runs out of seed will it go back and actually do it and refill itself. So a little note about that. Although I'm pretty sure I haven't seen how it works when it empties completely. So once that's done, we'll see how that works. Let's go run back to the cows. So it does do a pretty darn good job, though, I have to admit. It does get stuck on the where is it? The drainage ditch in the side there. So that's something to consider as well. And it's slightly annoying, but it's the way it goes. I do like the way it looks, though. It looks really cool. I just wish Courseplay would notice that the fertilizer is empty and would go fill the fertilizer as well, but can't win them all. Like I said, I could do it manually, but we have the other fertilizer, which will do the whole field and do it really quickly, so I'm not that worried about it. I love that feature. Oh, I didn't even realize that. That actually unlocks. I don't know if you can see that. Well, that's cool. Let's put the training seat away there. Let's turn off that mixer because it's loud. The one thing that's funny I've noticed about this is that when you're inside a tractor that has in-cab sound, it doesn't necessarily mean the vehicle, like the implements around you get muffled as well. It's only the vehicle you're in. So, okay, so that's okay. So we're gonna tag along with the case here to see how this works out. Because I recorded a new fill-up course to see how it would work. I'm just curious if it's going to fill up both the seed and the fertilizer, or just the seed. So one of the options, like I said, was I could drive a truck out there that has seed and fertilizer on it, can do it that way, or I can do it this way with Courseplay. In this case, either way, it would be a lot of extra work. So that's the reason why I'm kind of leaning towards just let it seed for the time being, and then once it's finished seeding, then I'll move. Then I'll go and fertilize with a different tractor, I think. That's the idea for now, though. I like how those wheels dangle. It's funny, the John Deere model, they have exactly the same model for the John Deere, except the problem with that one is it doesn't, it actually drops into the ground. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the version I got specifically, but it is a pretty cool setup. Although the funny thing is, like I said, this tractor won't work with Duke's Precision Air, just because I think it's the weight of the actual vehicle itself. It's not heavy enough, so. I'm not even sure where you change the weight of the vehicle. I think it's in the i3D file that you have to edit with Giants Editor. And I don't think it will work. I don't think there's any XML you can edit with weight. I think it's actually right in the editor itself. Alright, so let's see how this works. I'm just going to hop into cab here. It's funny, I have a pamphlet from Case in my Farmers Forum. Okay, so it's filling. What is it filling? It is filling. Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen. So it's going to refill both of them. So it probably was going to drive forward once it's full, and it should refill the other one too, I guess. Yes. So it does refill both of them, which is awesome, but then you're left with little bits on your field where it that aren't fertilized. So that's the problem you're going to run into. But that is really cool that it does that. I never realized that. I don't usually get to this point in a game where I have to have a seeder, an air seeder cart like this, and a fertilizer tank. So this is the new course I recorded. So it comes around, and it should. If it runs into something, I'll be sad. But I did record it with this set up together, and it does get good. So it does work partially. It doesn't fertilize the whole field in this scenario because it doesn't refill the, once the fertilizers run out, it won't refill that by itself. It'll refill them together, but it won't just refill. Like if fertilizer runs out, it won't go back and refill the fertilizer, but it will refill the seed. So something comes to mind from Shoot 'Em Up, Tit for Tat. I think it's Paul Giamatti who says that in that movie. So there you go. It does work, kind of, with Courseplay. I wasn't sure actually about this because some of these setups do work fine, and other times they don't. So it's always interesting to see how it actually how it handles it. But it is doing a very good job of seeding, and it's not missing anything, which is nice. It's cultivating nicely as well. So all the little bits and pieces, that's basically from the previous seeder, that would miss little bits. I don't know why it would, but there we go. So now it's so I think what's happened too is the fertilizer gets used all the time. It's just a constant stream, which is unfortunate. I suppose I always could adjust the XML file so the tank holds enough so when the seed tank empties, the fertilizer tank empties, but I don't know what that number would be. So, and it's funny, you'll get little bits right at the end there that are seeded, which is kind of funny. But it's doing a fabulous job. Kind of. So as you can see, it does miss a little bits. So like I said, I'll probably just off camera, I'll just fertilize the rest of it manually or something like that. So just so the whole field's fertilized. It's funny, when I originally had that problem with getting the extra yield, I thought it was because I changed for cultivator, but I'm like, that makes no sense. This is Farming Simulator. That would not make any difference at all in this game. In real life it might, but in this game, not so much. Alright. So let's go. So what I'll do is I'll probably sell the pigs when they're on great demand, like I've said in the past. And, Gotta be careful, this one's... It's a tippy tractor. Well, I guess if you were to drive a tractor at 40 kilometers an hour and turn suddenly, it probably would be tippy. They're not meant for high-speed turns at any rate. So like I said, we did pick up the Heath Chaser. So we do have that now. And this tractor... I don't think you can do anything on the front of it. Let's just check, actually. You can open the bonnet. I don't care to open the bonnet. I just wasn't sure if you could put something else in the front. Alright. That's fine. I wasn't sure if you could put a front linkage on the front. Oh, that sounds funny. Linkage on the front. There you go. But you can't, unfortunately. So there is a version of these that does have it, obviously. But so see, this is a little bit easier to back up, just because it kind of speeds up to it. It doesn't. It's not instantaneous. That's one of the nice things about this. I wish the guy who modded this did like a whole series. So he didn't do just John Deere's. He did like a series of like New Holland's cases. That would be super cool. But I guess he's a John Deere fan, which is fine. I can't hold that against him or anything. Alright, so let's go pick up our mower here, and we'll mow some hay. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that baler will work to pick up just straight hay, untedded hay. If it doesn't, I'm not that worried about it yet. Either way, we need to mow it first, so. Alright, so let's set him on his course. What am I looking for? Mow 2.5 meters. Yeah, we'll just... What other options do we have available to us in terms of mowers? No. We could get this, but it would only be the back, not the front, which would be kind of pointless. Yeah, we would need a different tractor for that, basically. Alright, so what I'm going to do is... I'm going to set him on his way. And... field work, first point, drive course. I should have taken that fork off the front. Oh well. And I'm just going to leave it not field position, just because the way Courseplay works. I know in real life you could never do that. But this is Farming Simulator, so... And I'm not going to put the auto swather on just because I'm curious how to, if we get more hay from it this way or not. Because before with the auto swather it would go over the same thing and move it around a lot. I don't know if it messes up with the yield or not. So we may need to buy a rake too. We'll see. Actually, what we can do, let's do a quick test just right now. We have the time. Let's grab the New Holland and see if it'll actually bale that. I'm pretty sure it will, but if it doesn't, normally I don't normally bale just straight green, but I seem to recall watching a video. One of the guys who does it, he doesn't do too many anymore, but he used to do Let's Plays, and he was using the same baler, and he was able to bale. He had like 3 different colors of grass, basically, or he had straw, dry hay, and wet hay, basically, what it boiled down to. So I'm pretty sure that baler does work on that stuff. So let's just go do a quick test. If it doesn't, like I said, no skin off my back. We will just TED it. Now we could theoretically get the big old mower, but that's not nearly enough grass for that. Alright, let's hop in the New Holland here. There we go. It does have a cool sound. It sounds more like a truck or something than a tractor, but I think it's cool if you actually open up the file and look into what the sound file's name is. Sometimes you'll find some funny things. I think I found I was looking at a tractor once, and I extracted the zip file to see what the actual sound was. It wasn't the specific reason why I extracted the file. It was more to take out wither wheels, I think it was at that point. I think it might have been on this one, but it had something funny. It was like a truck sound or something. Oof, that's terrible. Wow. Let's straighten up first, jeez. There we go. That's a bit better. Sheesh. You would never be able to hook up a baler like that. Alright. There we go. So, so we did 51 bales. So that's how many bales we did in that field with the straw. And let's put it into work position here. And turn on the baler. I thought you could unload the bales, but I guess you can't. It says it's almost full, and I don't know why. Alright, let's see. I'm pretty sure it does. But like I said, we are definitely going to find out. Right here now, here's the moment of truth. Let's see if this works. You can put it into level 2, Ian. And it does, if I go slow enough. I thought so. Good. So I'll leave that. This is going to get in the way. So I'll leave that off to the side for the time being. Turn it off. I honestly don't think I'm going to get that many bales from this. But if I do it like this, I'm definitely going to need to... will I need to? I probably should break it into a windrow, but I will try without for once. Trying to limit our number of purchases, because if I look at my finance, new vehicles, 1 million in the last today apparently, which is ridiculous. We have bought quite a few new things, and that's what happens, obviously. So, all right, so we got our John Deere doing a little bit of mowing. So we're not going to use the auto swather this time, just to see if it does make a difference or not, because I think it does, and I don't know why, but that's just my feeling. Let's go check on the Steiger. Just tab over to him. So, as you can see, the fertilizer has run out once again. So it gets a few lines done, but it definitely doesn't do the whole field. So if you do choose to use this setup, which is from American Eagle Modding, keep that in mind, that if you do it manually, you will need to refill a lot. If you use Courseplay, you'll need to clean up the spots that it leaves, or alternatively have a truck on the field constantly filling up your seeder and fertilizer. So I guess you could kind of... Nah, I guess it wouldn't work that way. You'd have to figure out what the right mix was. Anyways, what I think I'll do is I'll stop the episode for now. I don't know how long it's been. Maybe half an hour or something. And I'll let that case finish off doing the rest of the field, and I'll finish cleaning up the mess that he's left, and we'll come back next episode and we will bale some hay, and then we'll actually do some wrapping, I think, too. Alright, so my name's Ian Robson. This has been Farming Simulator 2013, and this is on The American Farm. Alright guys, catch you guys later.